Hey guys, welcome back. This is the lecture number 80 from our bootcamp series. In this lecture, we will replace our resources into admin side that we integrated in last couple of lectures. So let's start doing that. So first open your project folder in your preferred text editor, and in that folder first open the routes file. Okay, because to replace the resources in admin panel, what you need to do that first you need to place all of your resources inside the admin namespace or whatever the resources that you want to see in admin panel. So you need to define those resources into admin namespace. Here you can see that I have already defined the student resources and the dashboard controller inside the admin namespace. Okay, now once you did that, what you need to do as the next step that you need to open your controllers, and inside the admin namespace you need to replicate the students controller that you have as existing resource, or whatever the existing resource you have without admin namespace, you need to replicate those resource controllers inside your admin namespace. So here you can see that I have controller directory inside the app, and in that controllers I have admin, and in the admin directory I have two controllers, that dashboard controller and the students controller. Okay, now here you can see that my student controller is empty. Okay, so what I need to do that I need to implement all the CRUD operation for student resource. So what I will do here that I will open the existing student controller and then copy everything from existing student controller and just paste this into admin namespace. Okay, now just make sure one thing that once you copy and paste here, just do this step. Don't forget this. Why? Because we are using this students controller inside admin namespace. So we need to provide the resolution here, or we need to mention the admin here. Okay. Now once we did that, let's visit the page and see what happened in admin students. Now here you can see that I am at the admin dashboard. Okay, so let's open the admin students. Here you can see that I'm getting the error that admin students controller index is missing a template for the request format text html. It means that it is not enough only to replicate the controller inside the admin namespace. You need to provide views inside the admin namespace as well. So what we will do here that we need to replicate these student views inside the admin namespace. Okay, so let's do that. Here you can see that I have these students resource outside the admin. So let's copy these resources and paste inside the admin namespace. Okay, and here you can see that we have the resources in students views inside the app views admin. So now let's refresh the page. And when you refresh the page now, you can see that we are able to see the admin students or student list inside the admin namespace. Okay, so here we can see that student list is visible in the side the admin panel now. Now, when you click on the new student, there is something that we need to notice that if you click on the new student, okay, you can see the URL that it is pointing to the new action of the students controller. It is not or the request is processed by the student controller's new. Okay, it is not processed by the new action inside the admin students controller. Okay, so what we need to do here, and first of all we need to understand that why it is happened, that it happens because we are still referencing these students. Okay, or if you check at the index html of the admin students, you can see that link to new student is still pointing to the new student path. What we need to do to reference it for the new admin student, that we need to make change the path here from new student path to new admin student path. Okay, or if you just comment out this line. Okay, and now refresh your browser and just go back to the students admin students, you will see the error that undefined local variable or method new student path. Did you mean new admin student? So we need to add this path. Why? Because now we have students resource inside admin namespace only, and we just commented the student resource outside the admin namespace. Okay, so let's do that. We need to put new admin student path, new admin student path here. Save the file and refresh the page. Now you will still get another error here. Okay, that student path. Why? Because this member path is pointing to the resource outside the admin namespace, but we don't have any student resource outside the admin namespace now. So what we need to make here, that we need to make a path. Let's say admin student path, and just provide the student object here, student. Okay, and you just need to do the same thing here as well. Edit admin student path, and just copy this path here, and you need to make that. Okay, for delete as well. Now let's save this and refresh your page now. Okay, so now when you refresh your page, you can see that everything is working fine. Okay, so you have a valid index or valid student listing page inside the admin namespace. Okay, now when you click on new student, you will get an error that your form is referencing to the post action of or the create action of students controller, which is outside the admin namespace, but that should not be happen. Why? Because now we are pointing to the student resource inside the admin namespace, so we need to change the students form as well. So open the form partial inside the admin namespace, and what you need to do here, that just first make a parenthesis here, remove this blank space, and now you need to point the admin namespace. And how we can create the namespace forms here, let's see this. Okay, so colon admin comma student, or whatever resource you want to add into admin namespace. So this colon name is the namespace of your name of your namespace. Okay, and this is the name of your model that for which you want to create this form. Okay, so now save it, and when you refresh this, now you will see that we can see form inside the admin students new. Okay, now let's try to save some students. Okay, just make it test x at the rate gmail.com, and let's add some date here. Since we have validation of less than 15 years, so make it 200. Okay, now add some alternate contact number here, and click on the create student. Okay, but before that, make some space at the server. Now let's remove this dash and submit create student. Okay, here you will see that we are getting an error that undefined is local variable or method students path. But at the terminal you will see that record has been inserted successfully into the database. And why it is happen? Because if you see, if you look at the students controller inside the admin namespace, that your create action is still pointing to the resource outside the namespace. So we need to change this path as well. Like we need to make it admin students path. Okay, just save this, and you need to do the same thing for update as well. So what you need to make here, admin student path, save this, and you need to make the same for destroy action as well, admin students path. Okay, now if you click on it, you will get a validation error instead. That email has already been taken. Now let's make it test to xyz. Okay, and when you submit this form now, you will see that a student has been created successfully, and it is redirecting to the admin students index page. Okay, so it is created successfully. Now let's check the same thing for update as well. Click on the edit and submit this form. Okay, so after submitting, you are still getting error. Why? Because our update action redirecting on the show page of the student, and at the show template we have some links which are referencing the resource outside the namespace. Here you can see that link to back students path. So what we need to make here, admin students path and link to edit. So what we need to make here, edit admin student path and save this. And once you save this and refresh your browser, you will see that the error has been gone. Okay, now you are not seeing that error. Okay, so refresh the page again. That is the thing that we done here. Now, as the next thing, we need to check for destroying an student. Okay, so click on the back, and once you click on the destroy or delete, our student must be delete from the database. So when you click on delete, you okay, so you can see that it is pointing to the show action of the student. Let me check on the server what is wrong here. Okay, it means that when we are clicking on the destroy link, it is not redirecting on the destroy action. It is referencing the show action. So let's see what error here. Okay, into the sources, sorry, console. Okay, so here we can see some error related to chart.min.js. Okay, so we can remove the chart.js files from admin because we are not need we are not in the need of the charts here. So let's open your admin.js first. Okay, so go to the app JavaScript. Okay, and open the pex directory, and here you will see the admin.js. And now let's remove this chart, or let's just comment out this, save the file. Okay, and it is refreshing, refresh now, and now click on the delete of an student. Here you can see the data confirm dialog, and when you click on the ok, you will see that a student has been deleted successfully, and check on the server that a delete query has been performed here. Okay, now since we checked all things, like we checked how to replicate a resource controller inside the admin namespace, how to replicate views inside the admin namespace. Okay, so you just need to keep two things in mind, that first you need to define your resource inside the admin namespace like this, just like we defined the resources students here. And then you need to replicate your, or you need to create a fresh resource controller inside the admin namespace or whatever your namespace name is. Okay, and then change the redirection path accordingly. And after changing the controller, what you need to do, that you need to create the views directory for that resource inside the namespace, and then change the links on the templates as well, and change the form as well. Okay, you can see that we changed the students form inside the admin namespace like this. So this is the funda that you can apply on any namespace form. Okay, so whenever you create a namespace form, just add the name of your namespace and then name of your model for which you want to perform CRUD. Okay, so this is what we done for the students namespace. Now students resource inside the admin namespace. Now you can follow the same thing for other resources like projects, courses and blogs. Okay, and I will push the repository with the changes of resource, projects, courses and blogs inside the admin namespace, and I will remove the student resource from the general layout now. Okay, so it's time to perform some refactoring here. Okay, now if you see, look at the students controller inside the admin namespace. Okay, so what you can see, that I am calling layout admin every time inside the students controller, but that is not good. Why? Because for students controller you are replicating this line, for course controller you need to repeat this line, for projects controller you need to repeat this line, and for whatever the controllers you want to store inside your namespace, you need to repeat this layout admin line into your controllers. Okay, but if you copy this layout admin and paste it inside the application controller, then you don't have to replicate this in every line or in every controller inside the admin namespace. Okay, but the problem with that approach is that if you define the layout inside the application controller, then that layout will be available for or will be accessible via all the controllers in your application, that we definitely don't want to do. So what we need to do here, that we will define an admin controller, okay, inside the controller. So let's create the admin controller file. Okay, create a new file and save this file as admin controller. Okay, and then save it. And in this admin controller, we will define our admin layout, and then we will inherit all the controllers inside the admin namespace via this admin controller. Okay, so let's end this. Okay, and save this. Now just use this admin controller to to inherit the students controller. Okay, remove this application controller and paste admin controller here, and do the same thing for dashboards controller as well. Okay, just remove this application controller and remove this layout admin line as well. And now just check it by refreshing your browser. Okay, so let's refresh the browser. Okay, here you can see that we are still pointing to the admin layout. Okay, and you can check the same thing for dashboards as well. So this is the best way to use the specific layout in your Rails application. What you need to do, just define a separate controller with the namespace, and then define that layout in that controller, just we like we did in admin controller in our case. Okay, now, let's have one more change in our application, that we are now visiting everything through the browser. Okay, like not from the URL. We are accessing the dashboard from URL. We are accessing the students resource from the URL. But better if we can access this from the sidebar, like a dash. When we click on the dashboard, we must visit the admin dashboard. When we click on the resources, then they must be available in the drop down. Okay, so let's do that. Open your sidebar partial inside the app views shared. Okay, and this, in this sidebar, you can see that we have a link, and which is pointing to the index.html. Okay, and which is the index.html file of the theme that we have integrated. Okay, so now let's make this a rails link, and we will point on our admin dashboard. Okay, so link to admin dashboard path. Okay, and then class, and use the class mentioned here. Okay, and paste it here. Do and end this, and now use this content inside this link into the Rails link we defined here, and remove this HTML anchor tag. Okay, sorry, what mistake I did. Okay, fine. Save it, and just do the same thing for navigation bar as well. Okay, just copy this link, paste it here. Just change the class and make it nav link. Okay, and just place this inside the link, Rails link, and this link. Okay, and remove this anchor tag link. Okay, now save this and refresh your browser. Okay, so here you can see that when you click on the dashboard, you are pointing to the admin dashboard. Okay, now we will add resources here, and on resources we will display our application resources. So now find for the component. Okay, here you can see the component and make it resources. Okay, and in this resources, let's change this from, let's remove this heading. Okay, because we don't need it. And now just make a link for admin students here. link to students, and path must be admin students path. And now add the class here, class collapse item, the same class you need to use here. Okay, just copy this and paste it here and save your file and remove these static links. Okay, and save it, and now refresh the browser. When you refresh the browser, you will see the resources link here, and when drop down here, and when you check the students here, you can click on the link, and when you click, you will see the student listing here. Okay, and when you click on the dashboard, you will go to the admin dashboard. So we configured our links inside the admin resource. Okay, now we can remove these utilities and these pages, charts, and tables format because we don't need it. So let's remove this utility icon from here, minimize the link from here, and remove everything because we don't need this, and remove the pages from here as well because we don't need the pages as well now, and remove the tables as well. Okay, and just keep rest of the things, and when you refresh the page now, that you can see that we don't have any unnecessary links inside our admin sidebar. Okay, now what you need to do at your end, that just the way we used for using for including student resource inside our admin dashboard or inside our admin panel, you need to do the same thing for courses, projects, and blogs model. Okay, and I will make the changes at my end. You must try that changes at your end as well. And I will share the link of updated code base repository into the description of the lecture. You can get it from there, and you can update your local code base as well. And if you stuck anywhere, and if you find any difficulties while replicating your resources inside the admin panel, just let me know. I will be happy to help you, and I will definitely help you. Okay, let me know through the comment section. Okay, so that's all from this lecture. Let's meet into the next lecture. Till then, tata, goodbye, take care, and stay safe.